All right. Good morning once again. So, I know in our last class we were still on the Bash basics. Was it Bash basics? I think it was Bash scripting language. And then I know we have covered was it directory of variables? I think I was taking my time to explain variable concepts in Bash, right? And I said in the next class, we'll be looking at Bash functions. So once we are done with the function, we go to Python basics as well. So once we are done with Python basics, then we can start our preparation for hacking proper. Now, do not forget that why all these are recommended for us as ethical hacker to learn is that they are the languages which will be used to write our hacking scripts. That is the reason why we are explaining their basics. But there are still some advanced that we are going to use in the course of implementing. So before I go into bash function, I just want us to understand the topic called searching for file. Just want us to have some skills on how we can actually search for files in Bash or in Linux. Searching for file. Let's quickly, within the next few minutes, I want to round up this topic. Then I move to Bash function proper. Searching for file. So we have some scripts or codes, or let's say functions, which we can use to search for file. So the first one I want to look at is under functions for searching for file. The first one is locate. There is a function called locate. Locate. This should not be written in capital letter. Let me locate. So there is a function called locate. Now, what is the function of this command called locate? Now, we are not just locating. What are you locating? You are looking for a particular file within your scripts. So I will say, yes.
You found out the function conversion.
Huh?
This conversion.
Yes, it's still under bash, but we are focusing on function for searching for file. In case you are searching for file within bash, this is not Linux. So searching for file, I said locate file name. This is the syntax because I'm going to explain it so that you will know that though the main function is locate, but the idea is that what are you looking for? So we can use it. Let's look at the definition proper, right? Locate file name. So write it like this. Locate file name. Searches the computer built-in database. Locate file name. Searches the computer built-in database. Named. That is, you have an idea of the name of the file you are searching for. And this is not searching for a file outside the inbuilt. Please, it's not function for searching for file on the internet. This one is within the inbuilt functions or file in your system. I say built-in database name. That the other one I was just explaining. So locate.db, that quote that is just like a file name that we are looking for. Locate.db. So all these files that you can search through this command, they are the file that are already saved at locate.db. That db represents database. We are just abbreviating it. locate.db for indicated file name. Full stop. For indicated file name. So let's quickly go to our editor and demonstrate what I just explained. So let's say we have so don't forget that what we are referring to as file here could also be what? Directory, like that test2, test file 2. Good. Now, Control Alternate Delete to rather. So I want to open my terminal. Okay. Now I'll start by finding out if I have my file. Let's say ls. So I will just pick one of these files. Let's say I want to locate what? Test file 2 with the locate function. So I'll simply just type what? Locate, followed by what? The file name you are looking for. So in this case, I am assuming that I'm not seeing what? Test file 2. So I want to use this function to locate it within the database. So I will just type the name of the file I am looking for. And then you can see that what? Successfully, which shows that.
There's information about docs. Docs database. Why don't you use docs?
The database is the inbuilt storage where you must have stored the file. Are you getting me? That locate the database is not the name of file. It's just to tell you where a file has been saved within your system. Do you understand it? The first one, this is where I explain the syntax. Look at it here. Mr. B, this is where I explain the syntax. Locate followed by what? File name. And that's the one I just implemented now. This is it understood? Okay. Now, let's also search for, there's another function which you can use sudo update, though we have an alternative function for this, but I just feel we should just have this. If, for example, there are times that you may want to, or you could be looking for a particular file within your database, and then you get a message that the file could not be what? Located. So when it happens, you need to what? Update the database. So you now write what? Linus function, Linus or bash function for updating database. But in this case now, there is no error. My database is updated. That's the reason why I was able to what? To locate file out of it. But eventually you run a code like this and it's saying that I could not find it. And you are very sure that the file exists. It could be that what? Your database is not updated. So how do you update your database? You can just write what? Update DB. So it's a function also, which is used to update your database. Sudo space update DB. They are together. You can write it down. Sudo space update DB. So if you run it, if you're on the internet, it will ask for the root directory before you can. So you must be a root account or a root account user before you can update the database of the system. So I will just type in my password just to allow me to update it. So this one is just in case you are trying to locate a file. Not only that, there are times you may want to run certain scripts and they are not responding. So you can use this function to update your database just to bring it up to date. Okay, so I'll just run it again, sudo, now that I have the privilege, just to be ensured that it's updated. So the next function, okay, so your database is updated. Now, the next thing we are going to learn is how to delete directory. Let's assume that you want to remove this today or any of these five from your directory. How do you delete them? So what you simply write is ROM, which represents what? Remove. Then followed by -R, -R, followed by the file name, the folder name you want to delete. So in this case, I want to delete, let's say what? Let me delete, because I will still need that. Let me delete today. Delete today. ROM-delete today. Now, if you want to check whether it's still there, just do what? LS. You see that what? Today has been removed from what? The list. So these are some functions we might use later on. Now, that will not take us to the topic that I have already told us before that I'll be looking at, which is bash what? Functions. Bash functions. And I know I have given us the notes. There's a note I gave us as regards to how you have to write variable in bash, right? And how to call variable in bash, how to print variable in bash. I know I must have given us all those notes. Check your notes if it's not there so I can start from there. Have we covered that? Okay, so let's quickly look at functions in bash. Functions in bash. Who can define what a function is in programming generally, not only bash now? What do you understand by the word function? I understand we have some persons among us that have not done any programming language, so I'll be a little bit more deeper than the basic that you are expected to teach so that I can carry everybody along. So what is function? I'm asking. How will you define function in programming?
Is a command that like the equal command is a function that
It's a function is what?
The command that tells the compiler this specific task.
Okay.
Like,
okay.
Like the
Okay, so you have an idea, but let me put it in the right context. Let's write. In bash, a function is a block of code. In bash, a function is a block of code that a block of code that can be executed repeatedly. That can be executed what? Repeatedly. That can be executed repeatedly. Are we together? With different inputs. So a function needs inputs, and those inputs sometimes can also be described as parameters. With different inputs, it means that the input in this case represent the data that is expected to be given to the function. So what we are saying is that for a function to give you the expected output, you as a programmer must supply what? Inputs. Do we understand that? So now, how do we create function, right? How to create function in bash? So we are just looking at the basic functions, not really too advanced, but to an extent, they are not just basic because I can say from basic to intermediate based on the length of what I plan to cover in this class. Now, the first thing is for me to create, let me clear this first. So you are going to do more of, I hope you can see the screen. Okay, now, how do we create file? How do we create file? In Bash, we have already settled that last week. By now, every one of us should know how to create what? File. When I say file, I'm talking about how do I open an editor. Remember, we talk about different text editors, right? The V and the V Nano and the rest of them. But I'm going to use a more advanced method than the one I used the other time. But it's still within the same thing. We just that different ways of referencing or storing the file. So the first step, as you write your step, create a file for storing the function. Create a file for storing the function. That is the first thing. So what is a syntax? What is a syntax? For us to see it very well before I switch to the coding, or were you seeing that coding environment very well? The syntax is, I will just say what? V, then let's say the function name is, now the function we are creating an input function. And what is an input function? A function that will read data from users. It's just like you log into a web page and they present form, right? That form is actually an input element in that website to collect user input, and those information will be sent to to the database. So the function I want to teach us, most of the functions I am going to explain in this class, I am going to cover input function, that is function for capturing input from users in Bash. And then I'm also going to cover a conditional function, what we call control structure in programming. So I'm going to touch part of it so that we can have a deeper knowledge. That's why I said it's beyond just the basic. From the last class reaction, that informed me that a lot of people here do not know programming basics. So I decided to add this. So just for you to be patient to follow. Now, the file name, for example, I will say what? V input 4. Then .ch. So write this down before I go to the coding environment, because we are not seeing it very well. That's why I have to bring it to PowerPoint so that we can write the syntax clearly. So when you run this code, what this code will do is what? It will open text editor, right? Called V, and store the function in a file called what? What is the file name that will be used to store the function we are going to create in the input 4? That is what? Input 4 dot what? That yes, it means what? Shell is an extension for Bash. Okay, so now let me go and execute that. So I want us to pay attention, please. Nobody should code for now so that we can understand it, because the process are a bit logical. Now, I'll do what? VI, then input 4.ch. Once I press that, remember, it will automatically open the V text editor, right? Now, remember the principle. What's your next step? Your next step is to initiate Bash. With what code? With what? Hash, right? But before that, the editor is not in writing mode, right? To switch to writing mode, what do? I'll press I, right? And then I'll type hash, exclamation, /bin, /bash. So what is the function of this code? Is to what? Initiate what? Bash code. Then after that, the next step is for me to echo a question that will be used to collect input from the user, which we simply say, what is your name? Remember I said we are creating what? Input what? Function, a bash. So how do I write that? I will say echo. Why is showing this color? Because of that .ch that you use in saving. You know, the one I taught out last time, we did not put what? We did not specify the file extension. That means what? The editor interpreted it by itself as soon as you initiated what? That bash what? Constant, which is this. But we have already chosen a file extension. I don't know if you understand what is called file extension in programming. No, I will not follow you, sir.
No, sir.
Eh?
No, sir.
Good. Now, every programming language has a format of reading or storing its what? File in a storage. Like Python is .py, P what? Y. MS Word is what? Doc, right?
Yes.
CorelDRAW is what? JPEG. I'm just trying to so that you understand the equivalent in this case now. So when you do .sh, what does that mean? The file extension. That extension is the function, or let's say, is a format that is readable by which language? Bash. So any file you save with that extension, Bash can read it. That is the meaning. Now, if you do not while you were creating the file name in the text editor, if you do not specify that .ch, who can tell us what will happen? Will the file not have extension?
No.
It will have extension. It will automatically use the default. And the default is the one that is also what? Readable. But for you to say .ch, it means that out of the different types of extension Bash can use, you have already specified the one you want to use. And it's because we specified that sh is the reason why we are writing and this text is showing this color. So now, is a string. What I want to collect from the user is what? String. So you can write your notes on some of these basic things. What is string in programming? String means text data type. String means what? Text data type. String, that is string. String means what? Text data type. Which means that what? It's not a number. Okay, so in programming, like I was trying to explain in the last class, that we have primitive what? Data types, right? Where I mentioned string, which means what? Text. Now the question is it, and note, go back to your note, in programming generally, not only Bash now, because some of this basic knowledge will be replicated when we get to Python. In programming generally, strings are stored or hold in a program with single quotes or double quotes. A single word quotes or double word quotes. I say what? String in programming. I said strings, right? Please, who have written, I won't give different sentences. Let me know if you can help me to.
General strings are.
They are what? Good. They are stored in what? They are stored in a program with either single quotes or what? Double quotes. So when you see a programmer writing any text inside the quotation sign like this, it means that what? The programmer have just recognized what he or she is writing as per data type to be what? String. Exactly. Now, what do I want to collect from the user? Because we are learning how to create input function, a function that will collect information or data from the user. So I want to collect the person's name. That name, what type of data is it? Is it a number or text? That's the reason why I am putting it. So I will quote a prompt.
which we say, what is your name? That is what I'm typing. You may not be saying it. Maybe you can have that light. If you let me see and see if I can see cope. Okay, I think I can see cope. Is it better? It's not better. You're on my lights. What is your name? That is what I want to collect. So you can be writing it in your note. What is your name? So it's a question. You are asking a question. So you put what? The question sign. Then you must close it with the same word, string. What is your name? So what will this line of code do? This line of code, we ask the user to impute what? His or her name in the application. Are we together? So just make sure you are observing and you are writing. So I'll press enter. Now, I want to read the user's name. Look at it here. Pay attention. That line of code, echo, string, what is your name? Is a question. Now, the person needs to reply you, right? So you must create a field for the person to what? To reply you. And then you will use a function called what? Read. 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 Now, once you type read, you space, then the name. So this is a placeholder. Read name is a placeholder, which means that what? If you were to be website, that box that you type in, okay? You know, if you are filling for now, there's a box now. That is what you have written now. So this will generate like a text box. Read what? Name. Read name. So that name is not a variable, it's a placeholder. It's just like, okay, whatever the person will say, you should hold it. So that read is a function that is used to collect the what? The person's what? Information. So like I said, in case you are expressing it in your notes, that read space name represents what? Placeholder. It represents placeholder. All right, so I'll press enter. I'm still writing the program. The next one is that, okay, after reading the name, I would like you to print the name. Listen, this is how it be going. It's a kind of questionnaire. Once I enter the file name, what is your name? Prosper. Then it will now say what? Hello, Prosper. Can you see it now? Hello, Prosper. That is what at first it collected the name. Then it has to print out the name for me to know that, oh, you actually received it. That is the next line I want to write now, which is going to be echo. So echo is what? Is a function for outputting, to print. Okay, echo now is a string. Echo, hello, hello. Then I will now reference the variable. So remember I said creating variable in bash start with what sign from the last class? No, I disagree with you, sir. Dollar sign. So hash, this name, the way you wrote it, capital letter, put it there, name. So what's the difference between this name and this one? This one is just a placeholder. This one is the one that will collect it and store it what? In this variable. Did you get the logic now? Then this echo, we output what? Hello, whatever name that was collected. So if at this line, at line 2, I have collected, maybe the function have collected my name, Prosper. At line 3, what will you do? Hello what? Prosper. Exactly. Because I told us in the last class that variables are used to store values in what? A program. And I also expanded it to what? Variables are used to introduce external data into a program. So you need Prosper to build your app, but Prosper is not an inbuilt word, keyword. So what I've done now is that this line we read it, and then first of all store it in what? In the program through the word, the variable, and then what? Before what? The echo, we output it. I just want to make sure that you are getting it. Now, I'll put a comma here and then close this string. Each time I use the word string, I am talking about what? The quotation. Close the string. This is the string I'll put here, right? So you put a comma and then you close it. Why I put comma? Because that is not only what to be read. So after reading the name, there's another information to read the person's password. Now, I will not leave that line to the next line. So the next line, what do I want to say as a programmer? What do I want to say? Read a password, but that password will be, okay, let me put it this way. Read the person's password. I'll say read again. Read -P. The other one I just said what? Read. So this P now represents what? What does it represent? Password. It's not password that it actually represents. It actually represents prompts. Prompts, not password. If it is SP, it will now be suppress prompts, because I will get to where I will use SP. Suppress prompts, which means that, you know, if you are filling a form and there is an input given to you to enter your password, do you normally see the password code? The password will be hidden, right? Good. In as much as I did not put the S, it means that what? The password will not be hidden. But if you put S before the P, it means that what you are collecting will not be what? Visible. But it will be typing. That is why if you check, even this Kali Linux, when we were entering it, the password was not showing. Because they program it at what? Suppress what? Prompts. But let's continue first. You understand it in a moment. Now, what are we collecting? I'll do again. What is your username? Sorry, this one is not password, it's username. What is your username? Username. What is your username? What is your username? Then I'll put what? Semicolon there, and then space. So you have to also close what? The string. So this is just like when you read what is your name? So here, what is your username? Now, after closing it, you have to create a placeholder outside it. The placeholder will be what? User what? Name. Are you getting it? Username. You cannot just say, what is your name? Then if the person has supplied the name, where will it be stored? So this is what we hold it first before you bring in the variable that to be stored into before printing out. So the next thing I'm going to do, I will go down, I will say what? Echo. I will say echo. Echo. Put it in quotes. Variable. This one is variable now. $name. $name. Comma. Then also what? Close the string. Go to the next slide. Let me just space. You can actually create space. So the next one is, I want to read the password now. Read -SP, which means that what? Password, when you are typing it, you are not going to be seeing it. That's why you added that S, which was suppress what? Prompts. Then, what is your what? Your password. What is your password? Column. And then close it. Then placeholder with what? Pass. What we hold it, because there you are collecting user. You are collecting user what? Password. Then to be stored where? Then you now say what? Echo empty, because why I'm not creating variable? Because you are not going to see it. We are not outputting password. We don't want at the end of the program to see the password. We just output the name and the what? The username. So if I want to put the username, what will I do? I will now do a echo $sign what? Pass. You understand? That is, if the program I'm designing, I want to also call out the name, the username, and the password. But I'm not interested in what? Calling the password. So I will just leave it like this, and then I will just go to, I will now echo empty without putting anything. Echo what? Nothing. What does that mean? Don't echo. We are not bringing it out. That's the meaning, because each of them have echo the variable because you want to see them. But here you did not create a variable for it. So which means that it will only collect it. It will use it to run the program, but you are not seeing it. That's why you echo what? Empty. Then you go to the next line. Now, the last line now is where you now want to write the code that will display all of them. And that is what we want to see. So I will write echo. This is the last line before we go and execute the function. Echo string your name. Your name is column, the variable that stored the name, right? Dollar what? Dollar name, right? Dollar name. That is what? Call the name from that variable. Your name is, call the name from here and put it here. That is the meaning. Now, the next thing I'm going to write is, and your username and username is column. Then the variable that stores username is still what? What is variable that stores username? No, that means we made a mistake here. Where did I collect username? Here, right? So this variable is supposed to be what? Username, not name. This one here. Are you following? Okay. So I need to delete this, and write what? Username, the way you wrote it here. User what? Name. Delete this, and then what was there before? Comma, okay. So now coming back here, what am I writing here now? Dollar what? Dollar user name. Your name is, call the name from here, and your username, call it from here, right? Then we have to also close the what? I can put full stop to show that what? I have finished collecting, because I'm not calling password. That's why I stop. If you have stored password, if you want to see password, then you also say what? And password is. Well, I'm just collecting just these two information. Now, after this, I have to save the program. How do I save the program? I have to exit from what? Writing mode by pressing what? Escape, right? Then I will just do what? Shift and column, right? W, and press enter. Now, you just save without quitting, right? In case anything happens, you have already what? Committed the function. Now, let's save and quit. Save and quit, I'll do what? Shift column, W, and what? Q. That will return us back here. Do you remember the process? Now, you now change mode, right? You do what? CH what? Mode, in order to make it executable. CH what? Mode. Then, plus what? Plus X. Then followed by the what? The name, which is what? Input 4 dot what? CH. Right? Sorry, SH. Now, the next thing is for me to see the result of the function. I have to enter the directory dot what? Slash input 4 dot what? SH. Now it's asking me, what is your name? Remember, this is the function now. What is your name? My name is Prosper. Good. Hello, what? Prosper. Remember, this is the communication, right? What is your username, right? My username is Eloho. Now, what is your password? Can you get it now? What is your password? As I'm typing password, you're not going to see it. I'm just typing some value. 1, 2, 3, 4. Press enter. What is it now? Your name is what? Prosper. And your username is what? Eloho. Any question? You see the communication now? Sir, I want to go back to that file. Just type V like this in case you make mistake. Press enter. It will call out so that you can edit. So I will pause here for us to get to where I am before I continue.